3. We'll see if this works out. All right, so first of all, I'm Willow Sage, and I'm here in Victoria, BC, Canada. We do not have freedom of speech, so there are certain words that are censored. We're not allowed to say. I can spell them out. R-A-P-E and M-U-R-D-E-R. So we're going to be talking about the notorious psychopath, sociopath. There's so much more. Diagnose him as we go along and leave me a comment. Theodore Robert Cowell at birth. Date of birth, November 24th, 46. I thought this might be interesting for some people that may not pay attention to that. Now, I did not know he was born in Burlington, Vermont, and he was born to Eleanor Rose, or I can't read my writing, Cowell. Anyway, at a Lund home for unwed mothers. Her parents were Samuel and Eleanor Cowell. Could you read that? Probably not. Oh well. So when she was pregnant, she lived with her parents, and you know, this place that for unwed mothers is in Burlington, Vermont. So everybody knew, but they hid it from Theodore, Ted. Or maybe I should just refer to him as T. I don't know the guy. I never knew him. Totally obsessed with the story. And I'm going to tell you why right now. Some sick stuff. He was never told until he was older. So when he was born, okay, 1946 or 1946, he was never told when he was a little boy. Grandpa, you know, his grandfather raised him, so, and grandmother, they adopted him. And so Louise, the mother, acted and pretended to be his sister, and mom and dad were grandparents. And he didn't find out until he was 22 years old. Let me tell you, I'm going to say so right now. My father, my mother too, both of them. Boy, they have a lot in common. Neither one knew their biological father. My mom actually never got to. My dad never got to. And I'm going to say it breaks people. I was raised by two broken people, and that's, I think, why. Anyway, I'm going to leave that alone. I was just going to say forgive them, but whatever. It is... it was thought that there was a possibility, perhaps, physical or psychological abuse from his father. How else do I say it? But nothing has been reported, right? And Ted Bundy denied these allegations, saying that he had a healthy and happy relationship with his grandparents. So they go on their merry way, pretending, you know, his sister, who was really his mother, she leaves with Ted at 4 years old, and he was 5-ish, and she ends up marrying a man named Bundy, and that's how we know him as Theodore Robert Bundy. So she kept the first two names and then just changed the last name. It is also thought and rumored, many rumors out there, aren't there, that possibly Grandpa, Daddy Grandpa, is the real dad. I don't know. It's gossip, hearsay. I don't know if it's true or not. Just saying. I've come across that, and I have no opinion. Okay. So I'm kind of skipping all over the place, just wanting it, so I'm not going to, talk about all of the girls, their names or their families, because some of their families are still out there. and to be respectful of their family and respectful of the victims. I'm not going to do that. My intention is to dive deep and find out why, what made the guy tick, what happened, what possibly, what can we come up with together? So he grew up, well, got an education. He was apprehended in August 16th, 1975. Don't bite my toes. He was at the University of Washington taking becoming a psych major, and whether or not he actually had that, I don't know. That's when he met his dream girl. I will say the initials S, and there's another one, another initial, and it's the same person, D. So I don't know which name is actually her own, but to be respectful toward women, I'm not going to say their names. The areas that he was, Colorado, California, Florida, Idaho, all right, not oregano, Oregon, am I saying that right? Utah, and Washington State. Excuse me for a second. Okay, Google, thank you very much. So, Ted escaped June 77 for 6 days, and December 1977, until February 15th, 1978. And that's when he dieted until he lost so much weight and went up in the ceiling, the rafter thing, and crawled across the top. And all the other guys in jail, they knew what was going on. It was crazy. Victims confirmed 20, confessed to 30, suspected 36 plus. All but one. This is the one, they all break my heart when I look at them, and it's like, oh my God, you didn't deserve this. All but one 12-year-old little girl. All of these women that he went after and tricked, and I'm not going to really speak of the girl that, the LDS girl that he lived with, who had a child, because of the fact that she had a child, and because she's still alive, and I think she's probably getting up there in years, and I don't want to be disrespectful to her either. She's moved on, and however much you can move on from something like this, with him being in her house with her and her daughter alone. But she found, now Ted used to live with her. He lived off all women. He hated women, but he lived off of them. They paid his way. They were convenient. They, food, lodging, clothes, gas, rent, everything they would take care of. And yet he went after these brilliant women. And the girl that he lived with, who had a little girl, he met her in university. I think the University of State of Florida, I think. Nope, University of Washington. The other girls were all university student and college girls. They were typically girls that had shoulder length or a little bit longer, dark, brunette-ish color hair. And I'm going to say this very crass. If one wasn't available, Ted was not fussy. He would take another girl around the same age, and ballpark figure, anywhere from, 12 is the youngest, but usually 16 to 22, I think it was. Lake Sammamish was an interesting situation. I mean, in that, not the murders, but he pretended, and did this so commonly, and his girlfriend that he lived with so his ex-girlfriend now, had said that she saw casting material. Now I have it too. It's in my medical kit, but back then it wasn't normal. It wasn't normal like that. Yeah, he put a cast on his arm and said, "Hey, can you? I'm Ted. You know, I'm just kind of here for a while, and I'm paraphrasing. I need to go get something from my, you know, my car, my boat, whatever." And then, you know, he would get a girl who was already scantily clad, and, you know, because they were at the beach there, you know, sunning and having a wonderful time, and their boyfriends, and just being girls, you know, just being silly and fun with each other. And he would take them away from the other girls. But oddly enough, 2 women that day were told his name, and other people heard Ted, and they knew he had a VW Bug or Volkswagen Bug, whatever you want to call it, Volkswagen Beetle, I don't know. And it was tan. And they were able to get a composite sketch from the look of him when he was there. Only 2 girls escaped out of, those girls didn't. He took one, kept her alive and tied up and beaten and tortured. Went and got himself another girl, brought her up and made the one watch while he did, and ended up. But all of these girls were robbed of an education, of a life, of if they wanted to get married or not. They had robbed of all their choices, you know. I was going to say of getting married. Not everybody wants to do that. It's a choice. It's a decision. And they were robbed of that choice, decision, if they wanted children, marriage, to be a physician or a lawyer, or, you know, they were robbed of so much, and so much innocence. I mean, whether or not they were intimate with someone else, I don't care. It's not my business. It's not your business. But they were innocent. They were just at the beach, or they were just at college, and all of a sudden he faked, you know, dropping his books. And do you know what he did just before that? The girl near college, near the campus, just down the road a little bit, parked the VW Bug, took the, a crowbar, tucked it under his, on top of his wheel, and then the fender kind of hides it. Says he had problem with, and that would have been the back tire, because then, yeah, she would have seen the front. Took out the seat out of the passenger side, and that was easy for him to, oh yeah, can you just put my books inside? And he would play, you know, Mr. Charisma. And what he ended up doing to her possibly is what he did to other women. I do not know. But that particular girl, he took the crowbar, hit her in the head, and shoved her body into the passenger side of the vehicle, where there was absolutely no seat, and he did have handcuffs in the car. So my assumption, let's pretend I know everything. I don't, okay? I don't know. This is just public information, but what I don't know is, did he handcuff her? Did she even have an option? Because one girl he handcuffed, he ended up handcuffing her one hand to the other. That girl was out of there. That time she was in a mall, okay? She was in a mall, in a record store. He was stalking her, because that's what he did. He stalked women. He used to kill at night and stalk women at night. And this, it started that he got very brave, because killers progress. They, I want to say for a reference, just a reference, don't come at me, but it's like a job. You know how you've been doing it for a while and you get better and better. And I think that was his mentality, is, oh, yeah, I can do this at daytime. It's fine. I mean, it wasn't, obviously, but he, even when he escaped jail the second time, between December 77 and February 15th, it was snowing, and he went into a sorority house, and they had firewood outside, you know, for the girls to keep the house warm. And Girls shared a room. I think there was like 4 girls to a room, I believe. And he bludgeoned so many girls in there with such ferocity, such power, such anger, such rage, such power, you know, and taking their power away. I guess he felt like he had power. It's the only time maybe he felt like he had it. I don't know. Guy was stirred nuts and so dangerous, because guess what? This kind of killer will never, ever get over himself. Yes, I know he's been, you know, in the chair for a number of years, but my point in saying that, someone who has secretly kept this rage. So let's assume, for argument's sake, this is what I'm going to surmise. Let's assume, for argument's sake, that Grandpa was an abuser of whatever kind. Something happened to this boy. And it happened to him when he was young. Because, in my view, because I believe it was his aunt that was over, and when she woke up, she had found knives all the way around her bed, pointing toward her. She was freaked out. She left. That was it. She was done. But I mean, he did weird things like that. I don't believe he went after animals, so I don't think there was that. But when a person, but especially men, finds out, and again, going back to my history with my own father, my father knew since he was 4, when he was adopted by Neil, you know, that he didn't know his real father. And it still drove him nuts. It drove him nuts. He tried to find him. He had no way of knowing. We did locate. I did some digging. I'm a digger. I'm a digger. My father was, I'm trying to think how old I was. We did find, not his dad though. His biological dad died. We found his brother Mick. And Mick came to the door one day after getting the information, and I'll be damned. He looked at me and I looked at him, and it was like looking at my father, but 10 years older. It was unreal. Don't ask me how I did it, because I didn't do it very lawfully. If I get onto a research, I found so many people's adopted family, and yeah, finding my father's family was a good thing. It was good for my father to have real, you know, real family. And he does have real family too, by, you know, siblings and things like that. But he wasn't treated very well by his adopted father. 1969, he was 22 years old. You believe, okay, I don't know who my dad is because I'm illegitimate. You find that out on paper. And then he finds out at the same time, I'm born in a, you know, house for unwed mothers. So that's what my father used to say. Okay, they consider themselves bastards. Those were the horrible words labeled to a person. Please don't ever say that to somebody. Please don't. If you're gonna curse, say damn. Don't ever call someone a bastard. You have no idea how awful and horrific it really is. But I'm assuming that's what he felt, because my father sure the hell did. And it was just awful. It was catastrophic. He was so abusive. He did all kinds of prescription drugs, not for diabetes, for pain. He you know, just was addicted to all kinds of stuff, and then alcohol as well. And here's Ted, 22 years old, breaks up with the girl, the love of his life, the dream girl. I wrote down a big circle, and yes, his mind's like he's blown, because the girl he loved and trusted broke up with him, and his own mother he couldn't trust, right? Right after the girl that broke his heart, couldn't trust her. So did he become a sociopath, serial killer? And should they have kept him alive in jail, giving him cold cases to actually work on? Because, you know, actually, Ted Bundy did work on the Green Mile killer. And a lot of his information was right. I think they should have kept him alive. He's one person, one serial murderer. I would have loved to have a conversation with. The only thing is, he would have gotten in my head. I'll tell you the reason why. Because I would have understood my father a lot better if I had a conversation with him, if he wasn't getting in my brain. Just saying, he was good. He was that good. Was he good looking? In my view, no. However, very charming. All the interviews I've seen, that guy could charm the pants off you. And I don't mean in a physical way. I just mean that he could draw you in and captivate you. He could grab your attention, and he was just that good, you know? But as far as being good looking, I don't know. And another thing I wanted to bring up, all of the photographs that I have seen of Ted, including the lineup that he had to do, each and every picture brings a different personality. And I wonder which one is the real Ted Bundy. Which one is the real one? Because there must have been about 15, 20 photos I have seen of him. Each and every one. He's got his hair different. Hair side, hair's out, whatever, cut, beard, trimmed. I mean, with the beard. Oh, that's my husband, and I'm gonna. But yeah, which one was the real Ted Bundy? Take a look on Google. Look at all of the pictures of Ted, and you tell me which one was the real one, because I want to know. Anyway, this is all my opinion. At the end, the other stuff is found on Google. Freedom of speech, you're allowed to, you know, be able to do these videos apparently. So I guess we'll see if I'm charged any handcuffs myself. But if I am, I'll get a hold of you and let you know. All right, thanks for being here. And yeah, we're going to do one a month. A lot of digging, a lot of reading, and, you know, glaucoma and stuff. So I'm going to take it easy. Thanks for being here. Please leave your comments below. And I don't care if there's 100 of them. If you have an idea or your, you know, Willow, this is just my idea, but don't tell me that. Tell me your idea. Don't just anything. That minimizes. Tell me your idea. Say, Willow, this is what I think happened. Good. I will comment back to you because I want to know what you think. I want to break all this down. Why are these people running around doing these crazy, horrific, abominable things? Not to mention he was a necromancer, and there's so much I didn't even cover. And I didn't want to. I didn't mention any of the girls' names. That was not my intention. Breaking down the psyche of this person is my full intention. And hopefully I wasn't disrespectful in any way. I apologize if I was. That's not my intention. But I stand by everything that was on Google. Like I said, it could be right, it could be wrong. I don't know. But I'd like to know about his grandfather. Daddy, Grandpa? Later.